years. But when it was time for Dell to step out, and she stepped out. And who helped her? Oprah. Because you always have to have that individual. It can't be, I tried to do friends. I tried to do that, in the past. I've tried to do that. But the friend, I'm not saying they kind of like take over the vision, but then the vision becomes theirs. And then it's hard to say, wait, but this is not how the vision was written from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So I tell you what, everyone is unique, and everyone has their own vision. So that's why I said, don't come as a partner, don't come as a friend, come as a servant. So that way, when God gives you your vision and God is speaking to you, that person ought to get behind you and back you up 100%. And that's what I think we do in BWIF. We all have our visions, and we get behind you. Whatever you're doing, we're coming. Mm-hmm. And whatever you got going on, we're there for you. What do you need? And that's teamwork. It's teamwork.
Yes.
So you have to build the brand, know the brand, and protect the brand. And then also, you got to prepare a storyline and stick to it. You cannot be all over the place saying, I did this, I did this. Everybody, because I write books, stage plays, and movies, they say, oh, my God, you're all over the place. No. The sum total is I write. That's it. That's my brand. And so I'm like, I do the same thing. I hashtag everything I do. It's not hashtag Wisdom Productions for the company. It's hashtag Brilliant Woman in Film, just to make sure that everything is connecting. And I still have a long way to go with branding. I'm not going to tell you I have arrived to branding, but I'm going to say there's so many new things that's coming up every day that you can learn how to better brand yourself. And so once we do that, we're good with branding. So, pray over your brand. Make sure you have a close watch over, and make sure you're listening. Because brands, they change all the time. But you got to be listening, because as the time changes, you got to change with it. Mm-hmm. So if you started off with a vision in 2005, trust me, that branding is totally different. So whereas you used to give out business cards by Walmart and try to do that, no, now they're making YouTube videos and advertising it on Facebook. So branding is always different. So you got to listen in and stay with the signs of the times in branding your vision. That's what I believe.
I love that. I love that, Joan. We talked about the wearing it, knowing it, and Tammy always talks about this being really clear with your vision, being really clear with your branding, and making sure you're not speaking with multiple voices, right? You're not ventriloquists, and when you think about mantles, you can't put everybody in the mantle. I love what you said about the servant, and you pass that mantle down so that the person is their time to shine, if you will. And thank you for even that light, being the light, having that place of coming back to oneself from that one pivotal place where your passion is presented to the world. And so with that, Nikol Johnson, what do you have to tell our listening audience about branding today?
I definitely want to piggyback on what my sister said, and it's very, very important to market yourself. Marketing is essential. Because, like you said, your reputation in the industry is very, very important. The relationships that you establish with people in the industry is just as well as important. So I would say not only market yourself, but the timing is everything. You have to know and be aware of what's happening in the world and what your audience needs or what the world needs. Personally, I currently think the world needs healing and an inspiration and hope. And so one of the reasons why I really joined Brilliant Women in Film is because those were women that wanted to put films out that had content that will, promote healing and also, give back to families and everyone, So, timing is everything. You have to know when and where, where to be, because, I always say you have to plan things out. And so you definitely need to have a vision. You definitely need to have a vision, but knowing when to develop it, when to birth it is very, very important. And not only that, know your audience, know what is needed. And along with that, you have to appreciate people. You know, when you're building these relationships, it's very important to acknowledge your actors, acknowledge your people that are helping you with your casting and your crew, because you never know. You know, you're building these relationships, and you never know, like Joan said, when it comes time for everything to unfold, you have these people with you that are also going to, you know, promote and put out good content as well. And if they're working together with you, your vision can come alive. And so I really think it's important to, you know, seize the moment as well as build relationships and appreciate the people that are around you, so they can, you know, they can brand you as well, you know. And so those are my thoughts.
I really love that, Nikol, because, you know, you can't brand in a box. And when you brand with intention is what you're saying, brand with intention, so that what you're putting out in the marketplace, what you're putting out in the world is having a sound that the right people are going to hear that sound, right, and read the vision, right? If the message is on point, the people that read the vision, they'll run with it, right?
Run with
what's written on
that
tablet. So when it's not written right, or the voice doesn't sound right, it's not, or it doesn't have the right light, come on, you know, like mosquitoes or, you know, different insects are attracted to certain light, and there's some lights that'll kill things that, you know, the pestilence. And
that's right, and certain lights. Exactly.
So I really appreciate that, Tammy. Tammy is always so really good with speaking to this branding. Tammy, did you want to say something to this, because this is really powerful what the women are sharing?
Yes, absolutely. What they share is segues into a strong foundation. And when you talk about branding, even when Joan mentioned about being flexible, we have to remain flexible and relevant, even in this fast-changing world of branding and marketing. But the key is being consistent. Even when it seems like people are really not paying attention or even like clicking on your post, you have to remain consistent out there. Consistency, flexibility, and stay relevant. And because you are your brand. And so I tell people, sometime when you're in branding, you have to have a well-executed, defined branding strategy or marketing plan for some people. But then some businesses tend to put the cart before the horse, and they don't really focus on their strategies and their tactics and their strategies for their business. And so, like I mentioned again, like consistency is the key. When you think about some of these most recognizable brands out there like Pepsi and Coca-Cola, their key is their consistency. And so we have to remain flexible. Even when you think about flexibility, we have to remain open and flexible, even in our mindset. Yeah, we have to remain like that. And so then we have to use and apply these strategies to our life to be able to see these things come to pass. But like I said, the consistency is the key. And what you ladies have shared is astonishing. It's profoundly simple, but simply profound way of leaving a lasting impression in the hearts and minds of our target audience, I must say. And that's the type of blueprint that let us be successful architects of our life. So I love what you're sharing. Even with Nikol, she mentioned about her business, Merkaba, and it's dealing with the early school of Jewish, which I thought was quite interesting. And it goes back to center on the visions of which is found, in, like she mentioned, in the book of Ezekiel chapter 1, and it's concerning stories of heavenly places and the throne of God. So she's actually putting God in the midst of it. I like how you ladies are really putting God in the midst of what you're doing. Because when you put God in there, God going to continue to flourish and prosper the work of your hands. Yes. And even when you feel like things, okay, well, God, you know, what's the next direction? He's going to always have a ram in a bush. But even when it comes back to branding and a lot of times we use our businesses as our ministry. Because when you use it as your ministry, you'll be able to reach more people, become more approachable. And so you have to exercise your faith, and that's what you ladies have done. You are being used as a compass for other women. You're building up other women's self-esteem. You're being used in the community, which is truly, truly commendable. You have accomplished so many feats in your life. And so I really say bravo to each and every one of you, what you're doing. And you women are just women of magnitude. And you have a unique ability to see differently in the film industry. And this has made you such a sought-out commodity. And you have such a well-honed instinct for filming. What advice would you have for those who wish to attain success in the film industry? Nikol J.
Definitely they have to remain humble. You have to be able to, keep it real. A lot of people in the film industry are not who they say they are. And a lot of people don't, really want to see you succeed. And so I just want people to, really, when you're in the industry, really take the time for yourself and know where you're going so you won't be distracted. Distracted by people who have different agendas or people that, it's a lot of crab mentality that goes on in the film industry. A lot of people don't want to pull you. A lot of people don't want to help. And so with that said, you just have to be humble. You don't be thirsty, always, and I hate to put it like that, but that's the only way, you have to keep it real. And keep God in the midst of everything. I mean, He is the one who's going to provide it. No one can take your gift away from you. That is your gift. And nurture it, protect it, and wait for opportunities that are for you. Plan. You have to have a master plan. We spoke about the vision board. That's a great tool to really stay focused on your targets and your goals, because you walk by it every day. You see it every day. You got to breathe it. You got to believe in it, and you got to know it. And so I just believe that as simple as 1, 2, 3 is what our grandmothers taught us, is to always have values, always, think for yourself. And I think you can be successful in the film industry if you remain humble.
Fantastic. Joan?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I think that in order for you to be successful in the film industry, I think you should avoid all of the film industry rumors. So once you get your vision and you wrote it down, you made it plain, you just keep moving forward despite what you see, what you feel, keep moving forward. Some of the rumors are you don't have to become a writer or be a writer to get into the film industry. There are a lot of people that would do that for you, just like Katie Cole. She writes scripts. A lot of people don't know that Steven Spielberg, he don't even write his own material. And a lot of people don't know that. And you know how many good films he put out there. But he's not the writer of them. And another rumor is you don't need to pay someone. You don't need to write it yourself. You can pay someone to do it, like I just mentioned. You don't need to attend a high-cost film school. A lot of individuals think that they have to attend the film school in order to become a filmmaker. But I find that you can actually self-teach yourself. Like I self-taught myself. My son graduated from New York Film Academy. And so I said, okay, I'm not going to have to do what he has done. I can just reap the benefits from him. So what I didn't know, he was able to fill in the blanks. So I didn't have to go to a high-cost film school. I just had to have the passion and the vision to do it. And so I had that. And so that's And that's what happens. You don't have to put out so much money to do that. And then it's not on who you know.